Hey, it's Al Crouch with Indiana Lazy Bushman with the Forge series. Today we're going to forge some flint steels right here on our Common Man forge. I went ahead and got the coals started. You want your coals to look just like this, get them nice and hot. Once they're at this stage, you want to add more coal to the top of it. What this does is it seals the heat in and makes it hotter down in there. Also on this grill, it's got big holes in the bottom of it, which allows the air to come up in through here and help me out so that I don't have to use the bellows as much. Especially if you got a windy day, you might not even have to use the bellows or your pipe to heat these coals up. It'll keep it hot enough. So lots of times I like to forge on a real windy day during the summertime hours. But today the wind isn't hardly moving at all, so we'll see how it does. So let's get started. This piece here is a round stock 1095. And I flattened it out on both sides. You want to keep everything nice and even when you're forging. You can see the coals getting really hot when I do this with the bellows. I'll pull out for demonstration purposes. You can use this pipe. It keeps your face back away from the heat if you got it long enough. You guys can pick up, you need to use high carbon steel to make your flint steel. You can pick this up at any thrift store, yard sale. You want to start off with a small file. Don't get anything really big. You get big stuff, you really have to have the heat to be able to smash that metal down. So any file is usually made out of 1095 steel or W2. So you want to start off with small. You want a small flint napper anyway, or flint steel anyway. You don't want a great big hefty one you're dragging around. I'll be alternating back and forth between the two. You want that steel nice and hot to an orange to a cherry color. The hotter the steel is, the easier it is to work with and the quicker it'll smash down for you. Try to keep all your edges nice and square and even, alternating it as you're doing it. What you want to do is you want to alternate between both ends. Get one end drawn out a little bit and then work on the other end, otherwise you'll have one end bigger than the other. I'm going to make a real simple design today that anybody can make. It's not going to have all the nice little curls in it and little twists in it like I've done on this one. I'll film this one at a later date because it takes quite a bit longer to forge out, and I want something that you guys can begin with and be able to accomplish, not get frustrated with. See how I'm drawing it out thinner? This will be the one that I'll do all the curls and the pretty stuff with at a later date. Right now I'm just drawing it out. Alright guys, you can't see the color of this steel very well. You can't even hardly see it at all. It looks black. That's because I'm doing it during the daytime. If you guys do your forging in the late evening time, you can see the color of the steel real well, how bright it is. I've done this enough that I know what my color is by pulling it out and just getting a glimpse of it. You'll especially need to see the color for your tempering purposes. When you go to temper these, you want them bright orange. The whole thing needs to be bright orange when you go to temper it. Okay, now guys, we're going to put the bends on it on our horn. Working small strokes, real small strokes. We'll come back over here, straighten it out. Okay, let's slide that other end in. When you're going around your horn, you want to start off little increments to work it around. Don't start off in a big increment or else it won't bend right. Now you can see it start taking shape, guys. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll straighten this out a little bit with my pliers once it heats up. Also, when you're straightening it out, you guys want to make sure this end is nice and straight. And if you have to do a little sanding on it to get it smoothed out with a belt sander or a file, then or a grinder, then that's what you can do to make it a little bit flatter and not as bumpy when you get ready to start using it. By using the bellows or your pipe to blow into the fire helps speed the process of the heating up for your thing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just speeding the process up to get this hot for demonstration purposes. We'll heat this up one more time and lay it on its side and make sure it's nice and flat all the way around. We'll be ready for tempering. What I'm doing here is I'm just straightening it out with the pliers, heating it up and making sure I got a nice straight end on this and getting it just to where I want it. I'm going to emphasize that it depends on how much air's going to your coals as to how fast this gets hot, guys, and gets up to collar. Like I said, the brighter it is, the orange collar, the easier the steel is to work with. A couple more quirks and we'll be ready for tempering process. Now that I've got it to where it needs to be, I've got it buried in the coals. We're going to get it up to temperature for the tempering process. I've got my vegetable oil over here. I probably got about 6 cups, maybe a little more. I didn't measure it, I just dumped it in. Like I said again, you can use just regular old motor oil of any kind. Used motor oil works, corn oil. So we'll let that set for a while, but I want to bring you back over here, guys. You can see how well this is holding up. It's holding up just fine. It's common man forge. We'll be doing a lot more videos, stuff I'll be making on the simple stuff that you guys can do on the forge here with the series of the forge. So keep that in mind. Here we go, guys. It's been sitting for about 10 minutes and it's up to collar. I'm going to temper it right now. If you use vegetable oil, the flash point on the vegetable oil is a lot higher when you're tempering steel than what used motor oil is. Used motor oil smokes really bad. But like I said, you can use either one. Now we're going to let this cool off, and then we're going to go try it. There you have it. Fire steel forged on a common man forge. Well, here's flint steel all cleaned up. We're going to try it out with a piece of char cloth and see how it does. So, here we have it. And a good sharp edge. There you have it, guys. I used a big piece of char cloth just for demonstration purposes. There's your flint steel. Guy at work wanted me to make him one. I'm gonna bring this to him today. There you have it.